Hey everyone, my name is Mike Vaughn. I'm a writer at Geek Vibes Nation. I'm also the author of The Ultimate Guide to Strange Cinema.
And I'm Dylan Gonzalez. I'm the editorial director for GeekVibesNation.com and also a co host of the Home Dance Film Festival podcast.
And welcome to the Video Attic, but it's not a new release roundup. It is our 2022 gift guide. So we're going to do this kind of rapid fire with our favorite releases. We're going to just kind of go through them pretty quickly. So I will let you start off if you want, and then we can get this party started.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, we've covered a ton of releases this year, and I tried like just narrowing it down. We're doing 15 each. Just narrowing it down to that few is just an impossible task. So I tried to be give a little something for everyone. I tried to just like make it a little bit of a variety. But first off, I want to an early favorite from the year was Vikings, the complete series, which was an epic set. I did an unboxing for it, and it's such a fun action-packed show. This is all like 6 seasons, like it's a ton of discs, a ton of special features on Blu-ray. So I definitely highly recommend that if you're a fan of just like epics action. It's just great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is definitely like on my wish list. My next one is another box set that's really fantastic, and that is the Godfather Trilogy in 4K. I mean, these are classic movies. I mean, the third minus the third one. I mean, the third one's fine. But these have never looked better. There's a really nice packaging, and honestly, I feel like every film buff should have this in their collection.
Absolutely. That's a must own for me. And next up, I am going to the golden age. I'm going back to the past. I'm going to the Little Rascals Centennial Edition Complete Collection. I covered a lot of the individuals, but like you have all like 6 volumes that were released, plus a new special disc full of special features. So I highly recommend that if you're a fan of these little guys from the past. It's a real slice of just fun, just like a bunch of shorts. Really great quality from classic flicks on Blu-ray. So highly recommend the Little Rascals if you just want a throwback piece of fun.
Nice. So my next one is Dress to Kill. I needed to highlight some of the excellent work that Kino Studio Classics have done, and this is among my favorite De Palma films, and this is a stacked release. It looks fantastic. I don't know if they still have the slipcover, but you want to get it when you can get it. But yeah, fantastic release. And if you're thinking or if you're on the fence about 4K, like this, this should push you over to the 4K side.
Absolutely. I think we could honestly just do a gift guide of just Kino Classics titles, and it would
Yeah.
still be hard to whittle down. So heading up to one of my favorite movies of the past few years, got a 4K release this year, and that is The Sound of Metal from the Criterion Collection. Riz Ahmed, fantastic. It's just such like an impactful movie. It looks really great on 4K, and like a bunch of really great special features from the Criterion Collection. They're one of my favorite labels, and it's one of my favorite movies of the past few years. So I was very glad to get this. So definitely check this out. If you're a fan of this movie, if you haven't seen the movie, check it out. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, it's really great.
Nice. Yeah, so another one of my absolute favorite and highly anticipated release was the 4K of God Told Me To, which is from Blue Underground, Larry Cohen. It's amazing. Again, stacked with extras, slipcover, and it's such a weird, wonderful film. It's one of the best kind of grimy New York movies. Andy Kaufman makes a cameo in this, so need I say more? But it's fantastic. Blue Underground always crushes it with their releases, and this is stellar.
Absolutely. And stick around for that ending because it is wild.
Yeah.
I'm cheating a little bit on this next one. I'm including 2 titles, but they're kind of thematically linked. This is from Shout Factory. I'm enjoying my 70s television fix with The $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman complete series. These are really stacked releases on Blu-ray, tons of special features. If you just love that classic 70s cheese, but like it's also really fun storytelling, like great episodic storytelling. I did unboxing videos for both like these collections, so be sure to look for that for more in depth. But this is such a great release from Shout Factory. So many like special features, beautiful HD quality. Two of my favorites from the year for sure: $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman.
Nice. So my next one is a movie that I was very much looking forward to, and it did not disappoint, and that is The Black Phone. And the Blu-ray is great. It has one of my like I love how we have a lot of great features. The commentary track is great. I think that's one of my favorite like extras anyways, but yeah, this is a fantastic movie. The release was great. They like Universal really did a nice job. They didn't just dump this out. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite movies of this year.
Absolutely. This one is a kind of a bit unique because you can only get it one spot, one place, and that is the studio's own website. And I did just that. I put my money where my mouth was. This is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On's 4K release from the A24 shop. This is such a great release. There's gorgeous packaging in 4K quality. One of the cutest films you will watch all year. It's so heartfelt. It's just a little talking shell trying to find his lost family. It'll melt your heart, and it looks incredible on 4K. And it sounds really great. It's like some great special features, but like most of all, just like this is a great movie. It's one of my favorites from this year. You can get it from the A24 shop. Definitely get that if you just want to impress anyone in your life. Like they'll love it, honestly.
Nice. So my next one actually probably fits that mold pretty well, which is E.T. On 4K. And again, it's I mean everybody knows E.T., but it's a pretty classic, charming film. It looks fantastic. Again, comparing this to some like earlier releases, it's just almost night and day, just really stellar. So this is definitely a must own for really any film fan.
Oh, for sure. I was really glad to get that release. My next title, I'm not including the other season that I have in my possession because I only have so many hands. But this year we saw the Kino Classics release of seasons 2 and 3 of Night Gallery, which I'm sure we'll be talking about season 3 of Night Gallery in the next few weeks in more depth. But like, if you have someone in your life who like loves the Twilight Zone, but has like watched them all 1,000 times, check out Night Gallery. It's great anthology storytelling. Rod Serling, like he's still bringing it. It's a little bit different tone, but it's a lot of fun. And Kino Classics has remastered these in HD, and they look fantastic. And every episode has at least one commentary track, sometimes two. There's like more commentary tracks than episodes on these things, so they're packed with special features. They've done a really good job, and it looks really great. So Night Gallery is a great release for classic like television fans for sure.
Nice. So my next one is also going back to Universal, and that is another classic, very different, obviously, than E.T., but To Kill a Mockingbird, which is, one of those like staples of like reading the book in school and maybe even watching the film version of it. But yeah, again, it's packed with special features and looks fantastic. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite Gregory Peck films, and yeah, it's really worth checking out. Especially, I mean, if you haven't checked it out, get on it. It's great.
Yes, we love classic cinema in 4K, but we also love modern cinema in 4K. So one of like the unexpected gems from last year, you actually wrote our site review. You don't know that I'm covering this, but from Shout Factory, a new 4K upgrade of Old Henry,
yeah,
which was a really like special, like under the radar Western. Tim Blake Nelson, just like a really fun, dramatic Western, and given Tim Blake Nelson a chance to shine. So if you have someone in your life who's like who is like maybe like an old school Western fan, this would still really appeal to them. It's like I said, it just came out last year, but it's really just like a very like thoroughly like conceived, like it's very well thought out, very well acted Western, and it looks really great on 4K, and like some pretty like decent special features with it as well. So highly recommend Old Henry.
Nice. Yeah, I did really like that one, and I was happy to see that it got 4K. And speaking of 4Ks, I had to pick when I was thinking of like stellar releases this year, Sony's Fright Night. Beautiful packaging. It is stacked with special features. I mean, they have some legacy features and a bunch of new stuff, and I was so insanely happy just to have this in 4K. But then with all the extras, I was like sold. Like if you're a horror fan, that you have to have this release.
Yeah, I believe there's like 14 hours of extras on there.
Yeah,
It's
it's a lot.
insane. So yeah, definitely highly recommend that one. I could just like also do a personal list of just Sony 4Ks because I wanted to make my whole list that. But going to a different studio for 4Ks from Scream Factory, I have the Halloween 4K collection. The last three films, like the 95 to 2002, before like Rob Zombie took it over. And yes, some of these films are polarizing, but we are all collectors here. And you know for sure that like any Halloween fan will want to round out their collection. And like this is a really nice presentation, like a really nice box set. So you do get like not the best Halloween films, but some interesting Halloween films. So definitely for fans, and they're like a lot of great special features. Looks great in 4K. Like this is like solid release. So get this for the Halloween fan in your circle.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like an apologist for H2O and Halloween 6. They're my favorite.
Yeah.
So another 4K title, and we covered this fairly recently in this Pulp Fiction in 4K. Classic movie, probably among Tarantino's best, and this looks fantastic, and no new extras, but really it's just kind of worth it just to have this looking fantastic and sounding fantastic.
Yes, that's I'm a hardcore Tarantino fan, so definitely highly recommend that. Next, going to Kino Lorber. This is for the crime fan in your life because you've talked about a couple of these seasons, and that is Rocco Schiavone, Ice Cold Murders, and there's season 1. There's a season 2 release. It's not in my hand. Then seasons 3 and 4, which is the latest one that just come out, and like as this keeps evolving, it just keeps getting more like complex. It's a French crime thriller, and just like this character is such a very specific person. He is solving these like crimes over each episode, but then there's like a larger story being built in the background. And seasons 3 and 4 especially, it comes together really nicely, and just like taking this character to new and exciting places. So definitely, like if you are tired of just plain old American crime procedurals, go over to France. Like there's some really fun stuff happening. So Rocco Schiavone, Ice Cold Murders, highly recommend this.
Yeah, I definitely second that. They are really interesting and fantastic. So this kind of goes to my last title that I was talking to, and that's Reservoir Dogs on 4K. And again, it's just great to see these movies back in 4K. This is a great time to be a Tarantino fan. This looks fantastic. I believe there's no new features, but I mean, again, looks fantastic, sounds fantastic. If for a film buff, this is a must own.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of things that film buffs must own, this is also recently covered. This is just like a dream release for me, and that is the Sony Pictures Classics 30th anniversary set. 11 classic like films from independent cinema in 4K. You got Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You got Run Lola Run. Call Me by Your Name. The Devil's Backbone. There are a ton of great titles in this set, and like you have this incredible packaging. That's just like a taste of it. There's an unboxing for this that I have, but this is just like cinephile's dream come true. It's a great set, all 11 films in fantastic quality, great special features. One of the highlights of my year, like for sure, Sony Pictures Classics 30th anniversary 4K set. It's a little bit expensive, but it's worth it.
Nice. So my next one is a box set. It's not as prestigious, but it is the Paranormal Activity set,
Mm-hmm.
and really great. So I I overall really like this series. Even some of the ones that are not maybe as well regarded, I still think that it's overall a pretty interesting kind of mythos they sort of weave into what was always kind of meant to be like a one-off. So it's great, and you get a whole bonus disc, which I mean that alone I think is worth the price of the release.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a series that I was kind of cold on initially, but like going through that set, it really kind of like turned me around a little bit, and I do appreciate it more now. So my next set, I think you'll probably be talking about this pretty soon, but this is one that is a special place in my heart. That is Foster's Home for
Mm.
Imaginary Friends, the complete series. I started collecting this on DVD like probably over a decade ago, and they abandoned them. But now I finally got to complete this full series in one package, and it's on DVD. But this series is just so much fun. I love these characters. I love spending time with them. But it's good for like kids of all ages, like adult kids like me. Like it's a great funny time, great characters. Like definitely appreciate this. So if you're a fan of Cartoon Network's programming, this is one of my favorite from like the 2000s. So Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is a really fun animated show for that's good for anyone, honestly.
Nice. Yeah, so my next one is probably the polar opposite of that, and that is the A24 release of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies,
Mhm.
which there is also a 4K release. This is the Blu-ray, but it's a really fantastic movie. Ooh, and I dropped it. But yeah, no, it's great. It's wonderfully sardonic. I love the wicked black humor in it. Yeah, it kind of gave me everything that I was expecting and more. So definitely a great release. I love that this has a commentary track. So it's very much worth picking up.
Oh, absolutely. I really enjoyed that one. I watched that a couple days before Halloween, and it was such a fun time.
Nice.
So this is like more of like a personal favorite, but I think there's probably someone out there who will love this as much as me. For music nerds, this is Other Music. This is from Factory 25. It's a Vinegar Syndrome release. It is a documentary about other music, which was a record store in New York. As it's like in its final couple of years of closing, you kind of get kind of the overarch or like kind of the story of other music and what its place is in the community, how it broke a bunch of great independent artists, and just how like a record store is so pivotal to a community. I really love it. It's one of my favorite documentaries. The documentary did not come out this year, but this Blu-ray released it, and it's one of my favorite things I watched all year because I'm a huge music fan and I miss going to record stores. So this really like brought a smile to my face. So Other Music, it has some really great special features, a great commentary track where you get a lot of extra information from the owners of the store. So great. It's like a top tier release for me. Other Music is so good.
Nice. So I am doing another A24 movie that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since I watched it, and that is Pearl. Um, and just really fantastic. Mia Goth. I'm obsessed. I've haven't been able to stop thinking about that monologue she does. Yeah, it's great. Again, this doesn't have a commentary track, but it does have some nice extras on it, and I'm really excited for Maxine. So check it out.
Yes. Let's get our girl Mia Goth Oscar nom. Let's do it. Um, the next one, anyone who watches our show regularly will know I'm a big anime fan, and one of my favorite releases of this year was the Belle Collector's Edition 4K release, which once again, one I did an unboxing video for, so you can catch that if you want to see all the goodies that are in here. But like the film itself is so great. It's uh just so like engaging, social, like it speaks to a lot of social themes and like themes of like technology and how it's used in the world and everything, but just also it has a really nice emotional core, and it looks really great on 4K. Just like these colors, especially, just like radiate off the screen. The Atmos track sounds great. There's a ton. There's like a whole extra disc of special features. That's just so well, like lovingly handled from Shout Factory and G Kids. This is such a great release. So definitely check out Belle. It's one of my favorite animated releases of the year for sure. Of any style, it's a great release.
Nice. So one of my something that I was really surprised with how awesome it was is going to be what I'm going to be talking about next, which is Orphan First Kill from Paramount, and I'm so insanely happy that this got a Blu-ray release, and I'm hoping it would get a 4K release. I will link in the description my interview with Kareem, who was the DP on this movie. We've been friends for a little while now, and he was able to talk to me about making this movie. It's such a weird cult film. I love it. I'm glad that fans embraced it, and I highly recommend it. It's a must own, I think, for horror fans.
Yeah, that one's a wild ride. I really enjoyed that one. My next film is from Music Box Entertainment, and this is Strawberry Mansion, which, if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts, I'll do a shameless plug for the Home Dance Film Festival podcast that I co-host with my wife. We go really deep into this movie and why we love it. It's a really kind of magical, whimsical tale. If you're a fan of like the films of like Terry Gilliam or like anything of that's like kind of whimsical mixture of like fantasy and like comedy drama, it's just a really great like independent film that I just really fell in love with. It just has such a unique tone that I just really appreciated, and this has a ton of special features. There's a commentary track, there's like a really extensive making of, so this was really handled with care from Music Box Entertainment, and this is just such, it's an under the radar film, but it's definitely one that's worth your time. Strawberry Mansion, definitely check it out.
Nice. Yeah, that was one that I missed during the festival run, but I've heard really good things. So my next one is VHS 94, and I was a really big fan of this and 99. But this is great. This is currently on Shudder, but the release is great. It is packed with extras. So yeah, I highly recommend this release, especially horror fans that love anthologies. Like, this is a must own.
Oh, for sure. My final release that I want to put forth to our viewers, it's a personal favorite. I was just over my mind excited about this. This is the Aqua Teen Hunger Force complete Baffler meal collection, which is all of the series, like all the iterations of this series and like spin-offs and the film, the original film. There's a new film that they just put out on 4K, which we reviewed and we also recommend. But this, just having that original series all in one complete collection just does my heart well, because this is such a dumb series, but I love it with all my heart. It's so much fun. So like, thank you to Warner Brothers for putting it out. It's a really, really great release. Tons of special features. It took me like hours and hours to review all the special features. It was crazy, but like, highly recommend it.
Yeah, that is a pretty hefty set. And my final title is another like very hefty set, and it weighs 1,000,000 pounds, but gosh, it is great. It is the Columbia Classics set. This is the volume 3, so we'll take a like real quick look at this. I want to try to be gingerly with it, but it folds out, and so yeah, this is really great. This is one that like I was a little bit on the fence about these Columbia sets, but wow, I am a believer. These are great. We've been talking a lot about like what is must own for film fans, and like this really is it. It's just like your Sony set. I mean, that is just so beautiful and well put together, and you know, this is like no different. It's a really beautiful set and must own.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorite sets of the year. If you weren't covering it, I definitely would have. I love
Yeah. So that looks like that wraps it up. This was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed seeing like what some of our favorite releases of the year was. And gosh, it has been a fantastic year for home video. I mean, there's something for everybody. And yeah, as always, we do new release roundup every week. This is just something a little bit different. So you want to be subscribed so you can check that out. And as always, we appreciate any likes, any comments, and thanks for hanging out with us.